to start a non-objective intuitive painting. It's going to be right here. But wait, you say, there's already something there. Yes, it is a buffalo that I painted a while back, and I'm not that crazy about it. It's kind of okay. I put some orange, pink, and gold in here, thinking it would be a very cool looking thing, and it just kind of reads as brown. So one of my favorite things to do is to paint over existing paintings, and that's what I'm doing here today. It's a start. We will see what happens. Just going for coverage. Some of the old painting will peek through, I'm sure. That's what's fun about this. There's no need to gesso over this or do anything. This painting was varnished. I actually had it hanging in my gallery, and it just wasn't getting it done for me. So today's the day that I'm going to do something else. At least get it started. All my paintings start out as abstract. I like using bright colors, fun colors. There's no sense in making a brown buffalo, for example, when you can make him pink and blue. And so that was something that didn't work out. It just got too realistic looking when you hung it on the wall and looked at it, the gold, the browns and stuff. It just didn't, it's not how I want to paint. So it's a great time to start over on this nice canvas. I also love painting on already painted on canvases, because if you keep buying new canvas for new paintings, pretty soon you have this giant stack, and there's something satisfying about reusing something and not having to buy a new canvas all the time. It can really build up in your studio. So I love the history of. There may have actually been something under this even before the buffalo. I don't quite remember. But here it is. I'm just playing right now. No concept. Not just trying to cover it up, but I'm trying to make some shapes, kind of make some interesting things. I like scratching into the wet paint, show what's underneath. I mostly mix colors right on the canvas too. The color palette I'm using today, which I do probably more often than not, is primaries. I've got a red, a blue, a yellow, plus black and white. I actually brought 2 reds in for this painting. More pink one and a little more magenta. But you can, having a limited palette like that is very helpful rather than having every color under the sun. You can mix your own pretty organic looking too when you mix right on the palette and stick with the primaries. White is essential because you need to lighten things up. And black can be controversial, but it will give you the darker values too. You need to have a value range here. Don't want to get carried away, but we'll stick some in there so we start to see some darks and lights. Another thing that's nice to do is use some different tools. You get a different look instead of painting everything with a brush. This is a credit card, which is probably the best use of a credit card that you can imagine. See, there was some texture on the painting underneath, so I'm getting some nice bumpy looks here, which I really like. I like that gritty kind of feeling. And then it's like, oh, I can't stop. I want to keep going. Let's see. I just go with my first thought about, okay, what do I want to do next? Get some pink over here. Red, pink. Some white in it, lighten it up. I have a tendency to be kind of angular, but another good thing to do is maybe start with something different. Start incorporating something a little more different than what's already there. Again, this is pure play. There's no concept here. Let's see. So I recently wrote an ebook called Unstuck and Unleashed. It's a 20-page book, and there are information and advice about painting abstract, whether you're a seasoned artist and feel stuck, or whether you're a new artist and want to try abstract for the first time. There's 105 painting prompts that you can follow. And what you do is you just pick them at random and you apply them to your canvas. And what it does, it allows you to get started on an unplanned painting. And it helps you get going. And you're just playing. You don't have a concept in mind. Like, for example, paint a memory with no detail. That is one of the painting prompts in there. So let me see. Do I have a memory? I believe I do. And this will mean something different to everybody. Everyone will paint something different based on these random prompts. So there's a link in the description if you want to try this ebook. Another prompt is paint a shape with your non-dominant hand. There's that. Don't forget to go off the edge with a lot of your shapes instead of keeping everything contained. It makes the painting look like it goes on and on. I'm going to do another non-dominant shape, non-dominant hand shape. So you can follow these painting prompts. You can do many of them within one painting. Just go from one to the next. Or you could do a few and then let your intuition take over, like I'm doing right here on scratching these lines through. But the painting prompts will really get you going, and they are really a lot of fun. Don't be afraid to paint something out. Something told me to paint that out. And you just do it and don't look back. I try to get the sides. This is an 1.5 inch deep canvas, so I like to paint the sides approximately the same time I'm painting the front, so you have a nice continuous look when this painting's hanging on the wall and you're looking at it from the side. This is a candy apple stick. I've been using these for years. It's actually one of my favorite things. I like the primitive scratched look. I use this all the time. I like that magenta thing sticking through there from the previous painting. I'm going to see if I can enhance that. Again, I'm just going with my first thoughts here on something. A little blue, a little too blue. Get some darks in there. There is some thought that goes into this, of course, because I said to myself there needs to be some more dark in here for contrast. And that's what I spotted, was right there. Drag my card across here. Another thing to do is step back and see what the painting needs. And you go with the first thing that you think of. What does the painting need? I thought it needed to break that up a little bit. So I just did it. Well, that has sort of a nice gradient right there. I'm stepping back right now. Just to see it from further away. I still want to reestablish this black. So I wet my brush a little bit to get some drip going. A little drama here, I think. A little blue involved now, if you can see it. Wet my brush a little bit more, see if we can get a little drip going over here. If you have a spray bottle, that works too. I didn't bring my spray bottle. I like that green. Looks good next to this reddish stuff. Also, if you get some weird shapes going, if you end up wanting to turn this into something later, meaning, you know, I as you can see, I do buffalo, horses, things like that. The more shapes you have going on, the more you can start to see, oh, look, there's a horse. I've painted horses all my life, and it's amazing to me how I can find a horse even in something like this. But the idea here is just abstract. It could stay abstract. Non-objective, they could say. Now, paintings aren't always obviously completed on the first go round like this. There's also an advantage to looking at something the next day or even a couple days later when it's dry. You can do other things when it's dry. You can scrape paint across easier when it's dry than when there's a lot of paint on it. And also you'll notice, like when you separate yourself from a painting for a day or two, you'll see something that it needs, which is again is part of the intuitive process. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to call this good, and this is how I start. This is how I start all my paintings, whether they remain abstract or I turn them into something. This is how you get this color down in this intuitive, non-objective, fun stuff that people love when they look at your art. So I hope this helps, and check out my ebook, Unstuck and Unleashed, if you like.